Warren Buffett, the real story. The rain fell gently on the old streets of Omaha, Nebraska. Inside a modest wooden house, a thin boy sat on a worn-out chair. In front of him lay torn newspaper clippings and a few soda bottle caps. He was only 11, but his eyes held a strange maturity, like someone who could see far beyond his years. This boy was Warren. Warren wasn't interested in games or sports. While his friends shouted and laughed at the baseball field, he quietly scribbled numbers in a notebook. In one corner of the room sat an old calculator, more precious to him than any toy. His father, Howard Buffett, was a struggling stockbroker, often making less than what the family needed to survive. Warren's mother would sometimes skip dinner so her children wouldn't go hungry. "Son, money doesn't come easy," she would often say. "But money earned with wisdom will always stay with you." That sentence etched itself into Warren's heart like carving into stone. The first deal. At age 11, Warren made his first investment: 3 shares of a company called City Service. The price was high for him, but he was stubborn. Days passed, the stock price went up and down. Finally, when it showed a small profit, Warren sold. A few weeks later, the stock price shot up several times higher. That day, Warren felt a sting in his chest. Never sell too soon, his first investing lesson. Threads of time. In college, he always sat quietly in the corner, taking notes, speaking little, but when he did speak, the whole room listened. One day he came across a book that would change his life: Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor. Warren became fascinated with Graham's philosophy: the most important things in investing are patience and honesty. He wrote letters to Graham, tried to meet him, and eventually became his student at Columbia University. But the real twist came when Graham refused to hire him, saying Warren was too opinionated and not practical enough. That was Warren's second big lesson: the world can throw you out the front door, but you must learn to find the window. Dust in America's heartland. Back in Omaha, Warren began investing in small businesses, selling newspapers, running pinball machines, anything with opportunity. One day he bought shares of a struggling textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. It wasn't profitable, but it was cheap. Years later, he would transform it into one of the most powerful investment holding companies in the world. The unexpected twist. Not everything was smooth. In 1991, a major investment of his Salomon Brothers was hit with a scandal involving fraud. The media hounded him, and the U.S. government was stepping in. One day, in the tense and cold air of Washington, D.C., Warren stood before senior officials and said, "I will do everything to save this company, but I will not lie." His honesty and resolve turned the tide. The government backed off from shutting the company down. A softer corner of the heart. Amid the victories, Warren's personal life had its own shadows. His wife, Susan, his greatest supporter, passed away in 2004. That day, in their old Omaha home, Warren sat in a corner staring at a blank wall for hours. Despite billions in the bank, he looked like the poorest man in the world. The greatest deal of all. In 2006, he announced he would give away 85% of his wealth to charity, billions of dollars. Someone asked, "Are you crazy? All that money you worked so hard for?" Warren smiled and said, "Money is just paper. Real wealth is what you leave behind for others." Final scene. Today, in his 90s, he still lives in that same old Omaha house. He drives an old car and still eats a McDonald's breakfast sandwich. The world calls him the Oracle of Omaha, but he insists he's just a guy who knows how to count. The rain once again falls on Omaha's streets. Warren sits in his small room reading the newspaper. Sometimes he looks out the window, perhaps thinking. The greatest investment is in honesty and patience.